Hey everyone, welcome back, and today we are going to be looking at the top anime of winter 2025 since the season is over, which I will add that these are going to be the ones that I watched, so certain ones might not be in here if I did not watch them. Then also, certain ones will be continuing on to the next season, but we will still talk about them. So, we are going to be going over the top 10 that I watched, but then there will also be some honorable mentions of ones that I did watch that didn't quite squeeze into the top 10. And also, I do want to add that if it is a new show, so like ReZero, even though I do love it to death, it might get lower on the list just because it is a continuing one and it has been going on for a few seasons. So ones that just started this season will get a little bit of more preference. So let's go on to number 10. So, for number 10, we have Ameku MD, Doctor Detective. And first off, as you can see, there are a lot of memes of House MD on here, and that is because I watched this just because I saw the House memes. So basically, this anime is basically like House. Not exactly to the way House is. House can be a little bit rude, a little bit narcissistic, it's like that. But they are diagnosis departments in the hospital. They try to diagnose people. So that is kind of a connection between them. Um, but during the time of the anime, okay, we have a few different episodes. I wanted to go over some of the, I guess, cases that she goes through. So, one of the first ones she goes over is the episode's called Blue Blood and Dragon Fangs, which it sounds, just by the name of that, it sounds very, very much like a House episode. It sounds like Dragon Fangs. Okay, that there's no actual dragon in the world. Like, this is not a fantasy at all. This is like kind of real life, kind of. So there's no dragons. So why the heck is Dragon Fang inside the title? Then also Blue Blood. Um, people's blood's supposed to be red. So why is it blue? Those are the two different things she's trying to figure out because someone has died and there is a wound. I think it's in their leg. I can't remember. But they got blue blood and they have a big old fang mark. And she's trying to figure out what happened to the person. Another one is spontaneous human combustion, which I know has been like talked about and stuff like that in real life where people have like spontaneously combust. Most of the time there's a logical explanation. So this one they're trying to figure out why this person combusted. There is also there's also angels. Angels. The night of the angel. Night when the angel descends, I think that's the name of the episode. But a child in a hospital, which the child has, I think the child has cancer. The child's sick, whatever. And at night, he sees an angel in his room. So they have to try to figure out what the angel is and whatnot. Then last off, the last three episodes are actually like I guess a three-parter episode where drowning in a dry room. So someone drowned in a room that has no water damage, no water standing, no nothing. They just drowned. So they're trying to figure out that. So that's kind of some of the cases that they end up doing. There's a few others in there, but those were kind of the top ones that I liked from there. But yeah, it's just a medical show. That's basically all this is. And they are a diagnosis department, like I said, trying to diagnose people, most of the people being dead and how they died. And we have our main character here, which is basically, like the meme behind me says, welcome back, Dr. House, because the TV show, I guess, ended in 2012, and born again as this lolly doctor right here in 2025. And then we have way, way, way up above me, we have the choice. So you can either choose to watch an autistic lolly doctor or an autistic drug addicted doctor, Dr. House. um, And then, oh, over far side over there was a moment in one of the episodes where she looks over and there's a cane, okay? And if you know anything about House MD, you know he walks around with a cane. So instantly, she gets the feeling, she gets the itch to grab the cane because she's Dr. House reincarnated. She's not really, but it's a joke. uh, but yeah, that's kind of what you should expect for Ameku MD Doctor Detective. So, if you at all liked House MD, this would probably be a very good one for you, or if you just like medical dramas or whatnot. Still very good. I hate that I had to put it for number 10, but there's a lot of other good shows that I liked. There's a lot of shows I really enjoyed. And like really the the animation, the designs for the characters, they're not super what happened? Okay, anyways. But yeah, I wish I didn't have to put this for number 10, but really the designs for the characters and stuff like that, like they were good, but they weren't like special in any way. I don't think there was any person that was actually had like a very special. The art style, I mean, it was normal anime. Nothing really jumped out at me other than its house. It's basically House reincarnated. That was basically the only reason why I watched this. Why I really caught my eye. But yeah, still a good show. Like I said, if you liked House MD, you should probably watch this. So let's move on to number 9. So for number 9, we have Sakamoto Days. And Sakamoto Days was one that I was very interested. I thought it looked very, very good whenever we are initially going over what was coming up for this season. Um, Again, sorry it had to be on number 9, okay? It was just one that, I mean, like, it was good, okay? I did enjoy it quite a bit, but it did not have, like, a little special spark in it that, like, really got me into it. I still watched it all. I still enjoyed it. It was still a good show. So we have, again, we'll go over kind of, like, a brief description of it. So, Sakamoto, this store owner here, he used to be an assassin. Basically one of the best assassins in the world. And he ended up giving up being an assassin so he could work the store and have a family. So he has a wife and a child. But a lot of people, especially all the assassins he used to work for and stuff like that, have been like, oh, you can't leave the assassin's order. You can't leave, okay? Once you're an assassin for life. So they have been sending out bounties on him, and he has to try to protect himself in his daily life. And the problem with this being is he cannot let his wife know. He cannot kill people because his wife said that if he does kill any people and go back to being an assassin, she'll divorce him. So he has to do everything very, very secretive around her. So if someone walks into the store, he might like karate chop them and like pull them outside and like lay them up against the wall. It's like, oh, they just passed out, you know? So there's a lot of times where he will have to fight someone, but then he has to make it look like an accident or try to hide it or stuff like that. So it was pretty entertaining. And then if you look in the picture, I guess the thumbnail for it or whatever, the theme picture. The blonde-haired guy, he can read minds. So very early on, he's one of the ones that tries to come up to fight Sakamoto. And very easily, Sakamoto takes him down, not too hard. And then this guy that can read minds joins him and starts working at the shop. And then there's also that one girl, I can't remember her name, but she's like part of a crime family. Part of like a Chinese crime family. But yeah, that's basically what happens in the show, like a general description. So some of the episodes, like they end up going to a theme park, and there's a couple bounty hunters there, and there's one part in it where they're in a haunted house, and the bounty hunters are in there, and they have to kind of play it off as, oh no, this is just part of the haunted house, or I think there was like a battle on stage kind of thing where it's supposed to be like characters from the theme park fighting, and it ends up being some of the bounty hunters fighting. Then there is also oh, the lab. So there's a lab where the blonde-haired guy, he did not like become he was not born with the ability to read minds. He was kind of experimented on in a lab. They go there for a little while. There's a casino where they have to battle in, which it's not, well, I guess they do actually fight. But it's mostly casino stuff, like they're trying to gamble and stuff like that, because they're trying to get a certain amount of money. They have to get a certain amount of money to make sure that the girl, okay, the one from the crime family, so she doesn't get taken away. But yeah, that's Sakamoto Days. And as you can see, I have just a couple pictures here, not a ton, but the one above me here is the two different forms of Sakamoto. So Sakamoto has his kind of dad bod form, okay, that's on the bottom, where he's a little bit chunkier, you know. And then he has his very, very young looking muscular assassin form up there. And I don't know exactly how he transforms between them. I don't know if he just burns off a ton of calories right off the bat by doing stuff, and that's why he turns back into that form. I have no idea. It's not really explained. At least in the anime, it's not really explained. And then way far over to the side there, I just wanted to put his jaw, like his fat jaw, just getting like away from the bullet. Like it moves so fast that it can dodge a bullet. And it reminded me of High School of the Dead, where the bullet goes between the boobs. So that's about the only reason why I put that picture. But yeah, really, there's not very many memes. Like you'll notice in a lot of these shows I show, I'm a big I like to look at memes, and usually if a show has a ton of memes, it usually puts it up a little bit higher on my list because it becomes more enjoyable. Um, but this one did not have very many memes, so. But yes, that is number 9, Sakamoto Days. So for number 8, we have bogus skill Fruit Master. About the time I became able to eat unlimited numbers of skill fruits. Yes, we're back to the long names. But anyways, a brief description, since now I've watched it. Whenever we first were going over the seasonal animes, I didn't really know what Fruit Master and Skill Fruits exactly were. I kind of had an idea. But now that I've watched it, I know what they are. So, in this world, this is a fantasy world. Not an isekai, just a fantasy world. Just to put that off there. But in this world, there are skill fruits. Actually, if you look at the main character's hand there, you can see one of the skill fruits. It's like green with the kind of purple polka dots on them. But in this world, whenever you become a certain age, you will eat a skill fruit. And that will give you one skill. One skill. Just keep that in mind. One skill. And you don't get to choose it. It is just randomly assigned to you. So, our main character here eats his skill fruit, gets the skill Fruit Master. You know what Fruit Master does? Well, first off the bat, okay, Fruit Master is said to just make it so he can grow fruits better, okay? He's better at cultivating fruits. So, he ends up growing skill fruits and other regular fruits. He just becomes a farmer for, like, I think 1 episode, maybe 2 episodes. Not very long. But there is a little secret to Fruit Master. Fruit Master also has the side effect that he can also eat more than one skill fruit. So, eating more than one skill fruit would usually kill any normal person. But Fruit Master makes it so you can eat more skill fruits and get more skills. Our character does not know that from the beginning. And if you see that little girl that's over there with the kind of like silvery white hair, she ends up living with him for a little while, help him farm and whatnot. And she's cooking one day, okay? She starts cooking, and they have a crate of fruits in the kitchen, okay, that she's supposed to use to cook with. There is also, right next to that crate, is a crate of skill fruits. This small child, okay, accidentally added a skill fruit to the dish. And if our main character did not have the skill Fruit Master, she very well would have killed him. She would have poisoned him. He would have been dead. But instead, he eats the skill fruit, the dish with the skill fruit in it, and he gets, I think it's Sword God. I think that's the skill he gets. So, our main character wanted to be an adventurer whenever he first started out. And when he got Fruit Master, he gave up on that dream. But now that he has Sword God skill, he starts to become, wants to go be an adventurer again. Yeah, that is the entire gist of like the very beginning of it. And basically, the rest of the story is him having to fight people when people think, oh, you're just a fruit master. You can't beat me, and stuff like that. And it's like, well, I am a fruit master. I'm also a sword god. And later on, he also does eat a few more fruits because he gets in a fight that he can't beat. And he basically just starts eating skill fruits and getting like random skills. Um, but that's the only time that he really abuses it. Like there's one fight where he eats a few different skill fruits. So he doesn't like abuse it right off the bat. But he does eventually. Uh there are a few other characters. So we have the Sword Saint, the blonde girl there, which is one of his, I guess you consider childhood friends, because whenever he got the skill fruit, when they both ate the skill fruit, they were going to be adventurers. But they couldn't because she got Sword Saint, he got Fruit Master. See, Fruit Masters can't really fight that well. Then we have the blacksmith with the red hair there and a hammer. And then in the very far back, the one that's dancing or whatever, she has a necromancy skill. Which necromancy is considered taboo. Any skill that is kind of like weird, people don't understand, that look evil, are considered taboo. So, really bad for her, okay? Could you imagine eating a fruit expecting to get like a really good skill and you get something like necromancy or talking with the dead and it's like, oh, that's taboo. We can't use that. That's weird. That would make you feel pretty bad. I guess I can go over a few of the episodes because it kind of reminds me of what happened in the show. Um, so yeah, there's the girl with the necromancy skill. At first, she is an enemy that they fight, but then later on, she turns out to be all right. But they go to like a mansion, and there's a lot of dead adventurers there that she is like necromancied up. Also monsters and whatnot. Then there is the legendary blacksmith, where we meet the blacksmith red-haired girl there, which her skill is actually pretty cool because she can change the ah she can change like the, I'm trying to figure out the right word for it, the stats or the abilities of like material. So she can hit a sword and make it super durable, or she can make it very I think sharp, or like she could change the effect of the weapon as she's building it. So pretty cool. And that's just like a skill she has. Not every blacksmith can do that. The little like silvery white-haired girl, she has the appraisal skill, so she can look at someone and tell what skill they have and like what it does. Let me see. Oh yeah, at the very end of the the season of the show, they go to a town that has a fairy stone, which the fairy stone, it's kind of hard to explain, but for monsters to kind of appear or become stronger, there's like a cloud, like a dark cloud of miasma of energy that like kind of makes the monster, or like makes the monster stronger, kinda. And the fairy stone like repels that miasma, that smoke. But someone goes over there and instead of making it repel it, it makes it attract it. So a ton of monsters end up coming to the city. And that's about all I'm going to give you for that, just because I don't want to ruin the episode. But it was pretty cool. I like the idea of that. But yeah, that's Fruit Master. Basically, a guy gets really overpowered by eating fruit, okay? That is actually a very good explanation for the show. It's like, just eat your fruits. Except only if you're Fruit Master, because if not, you could very well die, be poisoned. And I still can't believe the first episode, the main character could have died if he did not have Fruit Master, because that little girl just so happened to use a skill fruit inside a dish. Also, why did you put the skill fruits right next to the fruits used for cooking? I really don't know that. But yeah, that is number 8, Bogus Skill Fruit Master. About that time, I became able to eat unlimited number of skill fruits. Wow, that's long. So, for number 7, we have Magic Maker, How to Make Magic in Another World. So, Magic Maker, it's basically exactly as the title explains. That's kind of part of the way I like some of these shows because it instantly tells you what the show's going to be about in the title. So, this boy, the redheaded boy there in the center, he gets reincarnated into a world where it's a fantasy world. It's like what you would imagine fantasy. There's monsters and whatnot. It's kind of like olden time kind of thing, like think medieval kind of era. But there is one problem with this world. Okay, before he reincarnated, and when he was in his normal world, he wanted to use magic, and magic was not a thing in his world. So when he reincarnated, one of the first thing he does is he starts looking around for magic. Okay, he starts asking his parents and whatnot. It's like, have you heard of something called magic? It's like there's goblins around here, there's fairies, but is there magic? And their parents were like, I've never heard that word before in my life. What's magic? Where did you come up with that? Who taught you that word? And he just like, oh, never mind. So he gets a little bit depressed because there's no magic in the world. But instead, he's like, maybe magic has not been like discovered in the world yet. Maybe someone has not made magic yet. So he goes on to try to use magic, and usually it ended up like a flop because he would just go outside and be like fireball or like thunderbolt or something like that, just like making weird hand motions and whatnot, trying to use magic and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, it looked pretty cringe. But there's one time when it's in the evening, sun's going down. He goes to the lake with his sister, and they start seeing lights appear over the lake. And they're like, what the heck is causing these lights? So, our main character here, he is a researcher, and I love him for it, okay? He is a scientist, researcher, and he wants to know how the world works. So what they do is they get these like pails, like pools of water, and they fill it with stuff from the lake. So like they might put some rocks, some plant matter, some water, stuff like that in one, and another one they might just put fish, and another one they might just put just rocks, no plants. And he sits there and he watches the pails, and he's like, we have to figure out what is causing these orbs of light to appear. Because they could be magic. That's what he's thinking. And it turns out that the pail of water with the fish in it was the one that was causing the lights. So he connects it to that the fish are using magic. And they figure out that it is basically when the fish are breeding. Whenever they, I'm pretty sure it's when they're breeding, whenever they make, the lights, okay? So he constituted that, love can make magic. Love is what makes magic. So, they have like a brother-sisterly moment where they're like hugging and saying I love you to each other and stuff like that. And then they start glowing. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. That's how it went in my mind, at least. And there's nothing weird going on between them, okay? There's nothing weird, okay? It's nothing like that. But anyways, it comes to the point that he connects love with magic powers. So he starts kind of messing around with magic. And there are different ways that he uses the magic he makes, the love magic or whatever. So he has like basically a flint and steel or a lighter kind of thing. And if you shoot your magic through the fire, then it will light on fire and he can make a firebolt or a fireball. Then there's also a stone that is basically like a lightning stone that creates electricity. And if you shoot the electricity through your magic, it'll make like a thunderbolt kind of thing. So basically, you make the human body makes magic, or at least not everyone, but certain people do. And you can use that magic with things in the real world to make magic effects like fireball and whatnot. So I really, really appreciate this one because it is a cool, like, how does magic work kind of thing. He's working through how to do all this. And he is basically the only person that can use magic. His sister is able to make some of the magic inside her body, but she can't really use like fireball kind of stuff like that. But yeah, it's a very cool like scientific research anime where it researches magic. So I really do appreciate that. Other than that, I couldn't really find any memes for it. I don't think it was really as well liked this season as some other ones, but it does bring a lot of. I just really like it. That's just the best way I could put it. And really, the character designs are pretty cute. Okay, I do like the character designs for this, even though they're not too different than normal. They have a little bit of spark to them, just a little bit. Um, but yeah. Oh, there's also a whole plot point in the series where there is I think it's called lethargic sickness or lethargy sickness or whatever, where there are people that would just go like in basically into a coma. They can't move or anything, and it turns out that they've had basically all the magic sucked out of them, basically. And it coincides with whenever basically an aurora borealis appears in the sky. Like it's a red aurora borealis appears in the sky, and then all these ghost wraiths appear in the world, and only people that can use magic can see the wraiths. So our main character is basically one of the only ones that can like see them. That, and if you have magic fire, a fire that is being fed with magic, in anything within the light can be seen, like any of the wraiths. So normal people could fight the wraiths if they had like a magic torch, basically a torch that's blue fire. So that was a pretty cool aspect there. And our main character spends years trying to figure out how to cure the lethargic sickness. And yeah, I won't ruin it. But yeah, if you want to watch kind of Magic 101 kind of thing, like how magic works in this world, I really like the way magic works in this world. It's pretty cool. Then this could be an interesting one for you. And it is an isekai, okay? This guy does get reincarnated into this world with where he makes magic. Not with magic, but where he makes magic. So that is number 7, Magic Maker, How to Make Magic in Another World. So, for number 6, we have ReZero, Starting Life in Another World, Season 3. So, I think last season was actually whenever this started. But we have got a lot more interesting bits to go through that happened during this season. So, Season 3 starts out, we are in a city, I forgot the name of the city now, but it's basically a big bowl in the middle of an ocean, basically. And there's water everywhere, and the witches cult has basically taken over the city, and they have taken over the gates that are like there to hold all the water back. And they said that if they don't get the witch's body, and I think the witch's book of wisdom or something like that, then they will flood the city. Pretty sure that's what it was. But anyways, we have, of course, our main character, Subaru, and we have Amelia, Beatrice, all the other characters, and everything. I'm not going to name off all of them. They are all there trying to fight off the witches' cult, because the witches' cult, if you remember all the like Sin archbishops and stuff like that, we have a few archbishops that are here in the city. To be exact, we have 4 archbishops, or I guess technically 5, but there's only 4 sins. So we have Regulus, which is the archbishop of Greed, and I'll go over kind of what each archbishop is doing a little bit during the season as I go over the archbishop. So Regulus, he is greedy, And basically, he wants Amelia, okay? He wants to marry Amelia. He takes her and tries to, like, wed her and whatnot. Um, then we have Sirius, which is the Sin Archbishop of Wrath, which we saw in the very first episode of this season, I think last time. Which she can. She's insane, okay? She can basically kind of control people. And then any damage that's done to her is done to everyone else that is being controlled. I don't know exactly how her power works. It's kind of implied, but also not entirely. Um, then we also have Capella, which is the Archbishop of Lust, and she is like a shapeshifter. I don't know how exactly she does it, but she can shapeshift into a dragon. She can shapeshift into Amelia. She could shapeshift into literally anyone, everyone. And then also, she has dragon blood in her. And if the dragon blood gets on you, you turn into. You either get infected and kind of get poisoned, or she can turn you into a magic beast, which is probably the worst thing that could happen to some people. It just turned into one of those magic beasts. Because you turn into a magic beast, and then she forces you to kill people. Yeah. So we have greed, wrath, and lust, and then we have gluttony. Which gluttony, I don't know how gluttony exactly works. I know we've seen a little bit of gluttony already. I know that whenever he eats you, or eats the concept of you, you kind of stop existing in the world, kinda. No one remembers you. So that's kind of what happened to Rim, and it happens to another few characters inside this season. Um, but yeah, there's technically two gluttonies. There's Lai and Roy, which they almost seem like brothers. I don't know exactly how gluttony works. Like a lot of these archbishops, I feel like you have to do a lot of reading into them to figure out how they work. Um, but yeah, there's Lai and Roy. Um, Lai and Roy have basically just been going around eating people's existence. That's them. And whenever they eat their existence, they get like their memories and their like feelings and whatnot. They like eat the very concept of them, because at one point let me see, is it Roy or Lai? I think it's Roy acts like Rim. Um, yeah, so that was very very odd. But yeah, that's what's happening in the series, and they're just trying to defeat the Witches cult and win back the city and try to save as many people as they can. I don't know for sure if this season is over yet. It seems like they keep taking breaks because like they did the first half of the season, then they did this kind of second half that's still considered the first half of season 3, and now there hasn't been another episode for a little while. So, season 3, I feel like still has a few more episodes in it, but I don't know for sure if it's going to be split up into 2 parts or not. So, we'll see. But yeah, I've really enjoyed ReZero season 3. I really like ReZero. I like isekai animes, the magic, the world building. The world building in ReZero is really, really great. And I like all the characters have their own sort of personality, character. They have their own ambitions. And you just like, even though some characters are like assholes and whatnot, jerks, assholes, they just are doing this for themselves. They also, you understand kind of why they're that way, or they also can change. Some people in the thing has changed since the very beginning, where they were jerks in the very beginning, where now they're like best friends with Subaru. So yeah, I really like the world building of ReZero. All the character designs in this is pretty dang awesome. And yeah, I really hate that I had to put it number 6. But like I said in the very beginning, when there's a new show that comes out, I give it a little bit more oomph. I give it a little bit more points because it's new. Whereas ReZero, we're on to the season 3 now, and I can't just every season put ReZero at 1. I mean, I guess technically I could, but it doesn't seem fair. So yeah, that is ReZero Season 3. And again, as you can see, I can't really find good memes, okay? I feel like anime memes, certain shows have a ton, other shows don't have very many at all. Because ReZero is more of a serious show now than it was ever. It's not really a comedy or anything like that. There's not very many funny bits in it. I mean, every once in a while there is, but. So, that is ReZero number 6. So, for number 5, we have The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, Season 2. This is one that I do really, really like. I have a soft spot for harem animes, so I like it. And especially since they're going to go to 100 girlfriends, as it is said. But this season, we ended up getting a few more girls. A few more as in 4. So if you look up there above me, okay, the younger one in the hoodie, she is the first one they end up meeting. And every girlfriend for this guy has a quirk. So the quirk for this girl is that she is always hungry. So, one of the episodes to like I guess get to know her is they go to an eating competition and they're eating a ton of food and all the girlfriends that he has up to this point are participating and it very 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 becomes the point where they're all very stuffed wanting to throw up but they continue on and I'm pretty sure they actually end up winning the eating competition. But yeah, there's that. Then the next girl we get is the tomboy one at the very far right hand corner. And she is kind of a tomboy, very athletic, and she's a masochist. Yes, she likes to be hurt. And I want to point to the picture on the very far side there of her with a baseball bat where she's saying, "Could you pummel my tummy with the bat while I practice my swing?" Oh, the suffering. Oh, the suffering. And then it's Darkness saying, "Could this be one of my people?" Yes, we're back to the memes. There's a lot of memes for this. I had to choose just a few. But yes, we have the Tom girl masochist sporty person, which turned out to be like one of my favorite ones. They're all good, and I do have a soft spot for most of them, but she's good. Then we also have the one that is beauty and perfection, the blonde-haired one in the skirt. So she is all about beauty. And, oh, I actually forgot. Okay, the tomboy one, they actually have a baseball game that they go. Because that's how they get to know her and stuff like that. They do a baseball game. But yeah, now onto the beauty one. Okay, the beauty one, the way they get to know her is that they have a beauty competition. And it's between her and the silvered hair girl. The one that's always analytical, kind of like a robot, thinking of things as function over form. And they have a beauty competition between those two because apparently they have a little bit of backstory together. Then the last girl we get is the very, very shy one that's hiding behind her bangs right there, the regular brown-haired girl. And she is very, very shy. That is her thing. And not only is she shy, but every single time she gets looked at by Rentaro, our main guy, she disappears, okay? And in her place, she leaves a little doll that she's made. So every single time he looks at her, she disappears and another doll takes her place. So she's basically using Pokemon Substitute. That's basically what she's doing. But yeah, and the way they get to know her, how do they get to know her? I forgot. I don't know. They usually have something. I think it was the Super Soaker party. Wasn't that the Super Soaker or no? No, Super Soaker was before that. Yeah, I can't really remember. Yeah, I think he ends up running around the school trying to find her until finally she runs out of dolls and she can't hide anymore. I think that's basically how it went. If not, I know that was an episode. But yeah, let's go over some of the other memes. So I already went over the meme over there. Then there's the one below it that is the mom. She has insane hair. So they have one episode where she takes a potion that makes her hair very, very long and kind of has a mind of its own. and it basically takes over the world. Won't ruin very much more, but that's a premise of it. Then also, I have a picture behind me. Ooh, I cannot move myself. Give me a sec. There we go. I have this one here, which is hi from 100 Girlfriends. Oh, hi, Zoro from One Piece. And they're both doing the three sword style, whereas she's doing the three bat style. So pretty cute. I like that one. I like that one quite a bit. Some of the other episode names we can go over. So they had the food contest with the hungry girl. We had can you see the maid? That episode was pretty dang good because um, the girl that makes all the potions and stuff like that, the one that can change her age, she makes a potion change everyone's age, except for two. Um, so yeah, two of them have to take care of all the other girlfriends as babies, and they have to be babysitters. That was a pretty interesting episode. I like that one. They had the Super Soaker Maid Party, where they're fighting with Super Soakers. Um, yeah, they had the baseball one. Karaoke Crisis. Okay, Karaoke Crisis was a pretty good one. They all just sing karaoke, and one of the girls, I don't want to ruin everything, has such an amazing voice that it's hard for them to even stand up. They get pushed back. Um, the Beautiful Things, the World Hair Only Knows. That was the one where she drank the hair potion. The Lost Sundari. Okay. So the Lost Sundari. So there's one of the girlfriends that is a Sundari. That means she doesn't talk about the way she feels. She's always being like, "I don't like you, Baka," kind of thing. Anyways, she loses her Sundari rays, which her Sundari rays are basically like sunshine. Okay, she has like a little Sundari sun of light. But she loses her Sundari, and they have to get it back. That was a pretty interesting one. Um, yeah, but that's basically we got four new girlfriends for this season. It was really good. I always like the little skits they have and everything like that. Oh, and I also heard that they're changing the order that the girlfriends are announced. So I don't know which ones, but at least one of the girlfriends that was here this season is one that showed up later in the manga. I think there's actually multiple. So yes, the anime is going a little bit off from what the manga was initially doing. So if you read the manga, you could also watch the anime and see different stuff. So I really enjoy this show. That's the reason why I gave it number 5. As you can see with all the memes and all the ones I could not add, which you can't see, this could very easily have been a very high up one. But since it's season 2, like I said, any of the ones that have multiple seasons, I do put a little bit lower on the list, and I let the new ones kind of shine. So that is number 5, The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, Season 2. So, for number 4, we have Dr. Stone's Science Future. This is the 4th season of Dr. Stone. I just could not put this any lower because it's just great. I love Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is all about science and making stuff in a stone world. It's just great. So, for this season here, Science Future, they were heading to the Americas because to make the like anti-stone potion they have or whatever to get people out of the stone, they need alcohol. And what do they need? They need corn, okay, to make the alcohol. Or ethanol. Yeah, anyways. So, America has a lot of corn. So they're like, oh, if we go to America, there's definitely going to be some corn left. So they take a ship from the island they were at last season, and they go straight to America to find corn. But there is another society there, another kingdom of science that has grown up since they, I guess since they've, since the world's been turned to stone. That's the best way to put it. There's another kingdom that's come up, and they're just a little bit more advanced. So, bringing in Dr. Zeno, okay? He is the guy with the, like, very long fingers, white hair, and the X on his face. Dr. Zeno, we get a little bit of backstory on him. He was a NASA scientist, and I wanted to show the picture there. If you look like right below the title picture for the show, there's a picture of Senku next to Dr. Zeno in the present, well, the time before the Stone World. Okay, so they ended up meeting in America, like at NASA, before the Stone World happened. So that's actually pretty cool that they actually know each other beforehand. Um, but Dr. Zeno has made his own kingdom of science there. He actually has a corn farm already made. He's made a plane. He's got guns because since he's got all the stuff to make gunpowder, he can make bullets very easily. And he also has a submarine, which is insane. Okay, this guy is the peak perfection of science. Okay, um, but of course, they're not going to get along. Okay, Dr. Zeno and Senku are not getting along. So this is where the meme right here comes from. Here, so it's in other words, in order to bring down the Youth Kingdom of Science, Senku's group, we only need to erase their leader. So Dr. Zeno is going to kill Senku, but he does not know who the leader is. So they trick him into thinking it's Taiju, the muscle head that knows nothing about science, Dr. Taiju. And then there's Gin saying, "I'm sorry, Taiju." Oh. Oh, then I have another meme up above me, which I can't remember for sure if I've showed before. But Science Guy then, Bill Nye. Science Guy now, Senku. Oh, then over on the very far side, the last picture, Senku gets another girlfriend. He doesn't get like married this time. He just has a girlfriend, which I don't know how long it's gonna last. He just did it so she would give him medical assistance because he got shot. Long story. Not gonna talk about it much. And then it's them saying he's up to something skeevy again. That's for sure. And yeah, he's just trying to get what he wants. Kind of like how in the one of the first seasons, he's like, the girls were like, "Oh, what do you like in a woman?" He was like, "I like a girl that can pump a lot of oxygen into this furnace." Senku just wants to have people that are useful. That's basically it. So yeah, this whole season is them sailing over to the United States to go get corn, and they end up finding another kingdom of science there, which is pretty dang cool. I'm not going to give away too much more than that because I don't want to ruin the season for people, but that's a very good explanation for it. They also have like a casino battle thing, which is it's pretty cool. Like on the ship over to the Americas, since everyone's bored and stuff like that, they actually have a casino made. So that was pretty fun. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next because they were leaving America at the very end of this season, and they were heading to the next place they needed to go to. So we'll see what happens next season. But Dr. Stone definitely deserves a high place. Okay, all the science. And it's just insane all the stuff they can make. Like, they made a big steam-powered ship already 4 seasons in. He's made a telephone. He's made... What else has he made? He made, like, a cryogenic freezing thing to keep that one guy alive. Yeah, there's just some, like, weird stuff that he can make just by, like, easy-to-find stuff in a stone world. So, anyways, that is number 4, Dr. Stone Science Future. So, for number 3, we have Solo Leveling Season 2, A Rise from the Shadows. So, the first season of Solo Leveling I felt like was a little slow, but it gave us like a good ground for like to build off of. Especially since the season was so good. It was very, very good. I do have some pictures here of some of the different shadows he ends up getting. So let's go ahead and go over them, and we'll go from like most recent, I guess, like in this season. So I'm pretty sure Tank was the next one. He's a big old bear. He got that in another, I think it was a red gate, I'm pretty sure. And Iron, I'm pretty sure he got in the same exact red gate. Iron is not a monster. Iron is a person that died inside the gate that our main character, I'm pretty sure he killed. I'm saying pretty sure because there's times where I say something and then I go back and I'm like, no, that didn't happen. Um, he either died to a monster or was killed by Jinwoo. So I can't remember. Um, then after the Red Gate, he ended up also going through the it was the Demon Castle or whatever. That key he got, okay, the key to the dungeon, where only he can go to. So he went there and he got to the very, very, very top of it, and he got the Wyvern up there, Kaisel. Um, yeah. So he got that also, and then he got Kiba over there, the orc, which I think he also got in the same red gate. I think he got Tank, Iron, and Kiba in the same one, or pretty close. They might not have been exactly the same one. It was a second red gate, I think. Yeah, I think Kiba was in a second red gate. I'm going back, like I said. But yeah, anyways, Tank and Iron were in the same red gate, and then Kiba the next one, and then Kaisel was inside like the demon castle there. And not only did he get those shadows, but he did end up getting another one that's a little bit more strong. On the very far side over there, there is a picture of the Ant King, which he ended up fighting and also getting as a shadow, which I think ended up being a general. I think that was its classification. But yes, there was a lot of stuff. There was red gates. He also he got his mom. He saved his mom. He got the like elixir of life or whatever. He also got noticed as a rank S, or yeah, I think it's rank S. He got noticed as that because he got reevaluated. And that was one of those things where a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, how were you rank E and go all the way to S?" Then we also got to see some more of the higher rank adventurers and people. So there was a lot of stuff happened this season. It was very, very jam packed. So I mean, I had to put it up pretty high because I kind of down talked it the first season because I'm like, it was all right, but there wasn't much happening. Like there was a little bit, but this one there was so much stuff, so much. So it was very good. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited for the next season to see what exactly happens because I feel like he's already more powerful than most of the humans that are in the world. Because we already have seen a lot of people, and they are nowhere compared to him. So I don't know where they can go in the story past, like, all of humanity. Like, I guess there's more gates he can do, and he might get some more dungeon keys or stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what's going to come next. So, that is number 3 Solo Leveling Season 2 Arise from the Shadows. For number 2, we have From Bureaucrat to Villainous, Dad's Been Reincarnated. This was one I instantly knew when I saw I was going to enjoy. And I think my choice in putting this number 2 might be a little misguided because there are better ones. But like I said before, ones that are new in the first season, I do give a little bit more points to. So, this one is an isekai, as you can tell, reincarnated to another world. And the world that he is reincarnated into is the video game that his daughter has played. And it is a video game about basically dating princes. That's kind of what it is about. Um, so he ends up, I think he ended up getting hit by a bus or a truck or something. I can't remember. But he is in a coma. He's not dead. He is in a coma. He's in a hospital, and his mind, I guess, is inside the video game. And we actually get to a point where his daughter and his wife are watching the video game play out, and they can tell that it is him inside the video game by especially how he acts. But our main character is in, I'm pretty sure her name is Grace, the blonde girl there. So having a dad like that, a middle-aged guy inside a young teenager. I'm pretty sure she's a teenager. Yeah, she's got to be a teenager. Um, is very, very, very funny. Okay, I love the interactions, and I got some memes and stuff for them. So I mean, we'll go over those in a second. But he is going through the world, and he somehow everyone likes him. Everyone. Like the way he is like so graceful and stuff like that, and everything he does somehow works out. So everyone likes him. And I feel like in the next season, um we're going to see a lot more people that are liking him because whenever he does something that someone likes, there are effects that end up going on them like a feather petally effects, okay, like pink petals or whatever, and it's just like, oh, their affection has gone up, and I'm like, oh my. But yeah, that's basically the whole story. Is basically he got reincarnated into Grace there, and he is living out school life here inside the video game, and everything works out. Everything works out. So I got some memes here. So if you look above me, you can see how he does something like puts his hand up to his chin and like kind of like the scratching motion there. And then that is what Grace does. Grace does something a little bit different. And just like seeing him and Grace in the same frame and knowing that they're in the same body is just it's just funny. Okay, I love every scene with this. Then behind me here, we have this. There's not a single person that doesn't know the prince's name, and the main character, the guy, the dad, is what was his name again? We don't remember. And something I like from this is he ends up writing the names on the fan that Grace holds. So he writes all the names in there. Then we have over to the side, we have they raised you with lots of love. Him being a father figure inside that while being in Grace's body. And then I forgot to act like a villainous. I let my true feelings as a parent slip by. Oh. Then we have even for one of God's pranks, this is too extreme of a mismatch. So how in blue blazes suppose I live a life in this world? So that's whenever he first got like I think Grace ended up falling off a horse. I think that's what happened. And then whenever they fell off the horse, either he got reincarnated into her or he got his memory back. I can't remember. But yeah, that's how he got brought back into the world. But yes, I really liked From Bureaucrat to Villainous, Dad's Been Reincarnated. It was a very good comedy. I really love the Otome-esque games and stuff like that. And for some reason, anytime there is villainous in the title, I end up loving it. So, anytime I see villainous, I usually end up just watching it just to make sure. And so far, I have not been led astray. So, that is number 2, From Bureaucrat to Villainous, Dad's Being Reincarnated. So, for number 1, my very, very favorite one of this season, this one, I did not expect much of, okay? Whenever I initially went into the season, I was like, oh, the premise for this, it sounds interesting, but I mean, I felt like the premise for it was going to wear off after a while. But no, it didn't wear off to me. No, no, no. So for number 1, we have Bon Bon Vampire. It's basically Bathhouse Vampire. So we have our main vampire boy there, and then we have the boy right next to him. And our vampire boy, our vampire man, whatever you want to call him, he works at a bathhouse for that boy's parents. And he got saved by the boy one day whenever he was out in the sun dying away. And the vampire, as we went over the description during the very beginning of the season, he has a thing for virgins, okay? Especially virgin boys. So he has made it his... he wants to wait till the boy is 18 years of age and suck his blood. That is exactly what he wants to do. And he has to make sure that he does not... he stays a virgin until then. Because apparently virgins taste better or something like that. The purity of blood. I have no idea. But the premise for the show, initially, I sat there, I'm like... Oh, this is going to wear off pretty quickly. But no, I loved it. The premise, him trying to keep away the girls, like you can see the two girls there inside the the picture there, which one of them actually does like the boy. One of them actually likes the vampire, and he doesn't know that. Then we have Franken, the guy in the red tank top there. I remember his name, okay? He's a bro, okay? He actually tries to protect the boy while he's in school. Tries to keep girls away from him, whatnot. Um, yeah, it's just all of the like crazy little things that happens. The him trying to keep girls away, him like kind of like lusting over the boy and whatnot. I mean, like it's it's weird, okay? Don't get me wrong, it's weird, but there's a lot of funny stuff in between there that I sat there, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to know what happens next. Because also there's a vampire hunter, okay? The vampire hunter finds our vampire guy there. Um, and you thought he might try to kill him, okay? Vampire hunters kill vampires. Most people know that. All people should know that. Instead, no, Vampire Hunter likes Vampire. Likes Vampire. Wants him to suck his blood and whatnot. So every single time he sees him, he's like, oh, do you want me now? Kind of thing. He's also a teacher. So that's, yeah. Um, also, we get a lot of, like, scenes where the vampire is looking back on his life and like other historical figures that he has been around and stuff like that, and possibly some that he might have sucked their blood and whatnot. So that's kind of cool. And the only picture I have on here, the only like kind of meme I have, is the one where there's the other vampire with the orange hair and the girl with the pink hair, and she's making a cross with two pieces of metal. I don't know if those are like tweezers or what they are. Let's say tweezers, okay? He's making a cross with tweezers. And in this world, crosses or crucifixes do not actually affect vampires. It doesn't work on our main vampire. But this orange-haired vampire has looked on the internet enough, like looked on Wikipedia's and looked on different like web pages, and he has got it in his mind that no, actually vampires are afraid of crosses, they're of crucifixes. He has put it into his psychology that they hurt them. So he's the only one that's affected by crosses and crucifixes. I'm sure there's probably other stuff, like he's probably looked up, like going over running water, I'm sure. Just like garlic. I'm sure garlic is probably one that he's probably afraid of too. But yeah, just him looking on the internet and finding all of these things about vampires and being like, oh, these are weaknesses of vampires? I should be scared of these. And just him banging it in his head that he's like, oh, these are weaknesses. These are my weaknesses. That's what I love. Plus, if you look in the picture there, he has a cross. I think he has crosses on both of his ears. He has earrings of crosses. And for some reason, those don't affect him. I don't know why. It's even asked inside the show why he wears the crosses, and he's like, oh, they don't affect me. They're just earrings. They're just earrings. Come on, they're not crosses. But I just love the series, okay? I'm very excited for another season of this. All the characters in it are they're really good. I like the characters in this. The interactions between the characters, the like love triangles, love squares, character interactions, whatnot. Um, I don't think he's actually going to go through with it whenever the boy turns 18. I don't think he'll actually go through with it. He actually has come to the point where he kind of cares for him. So I don't think he'll do it, but we'll see. At first, he wanted just blood, okay? At first, he just wanted virgin blood, okay? To the peak perfection of 18 years of age. But I think he's finally got to the point where he's like, no, I don't want to drink his. Well, he might want to drink his blood, but he doesn't want to kill him or anything. Maybe he'll turn into a vampire spawn or a vampire. Who knows? But yeah, that's my number one, and I still feel like that's. I feel like it. There's other ones that deserve number one. There's other ones that do deserve it. But this was the one I was always, every time a new episode came out, instantly I was watching. Like, I watched Dr. Stone. I also watched ReZero when they were coming out. But this was one that is like the First season of one, it gets extra points there. This is one that I enjoyed quite a bit. I like the characters, the designs for the characters, while being not as flashy. I still enjoyed the way they looked and stuff. And every episode I felt like did something. It wasn't like there was no like filler. There was always a character being introduced, there was always an interaction between characters or something. It was just entertaining. So that is the top 10 for this season, but I do have some honorable mentions because I watched quite a few anime this season. And there are some that I had to end up dropping after a few episodes because I could not keep up. And there's also some that I did finish that didn't quite make it to the top 10. So we'll spend a little bit of time on them. First, okay, we have I'm Getting Married to the Girl I Hate in My Class. This was another, I want to say harem, but it's not really a harem because he doesn't date the girls, but all the girls do want to date him. So I'll say pseudo harem. So the premise of this is basically he gets married to the girl he hates in class. Okay, that's the end. Roll credits, but there's more to it. So apparently, the boy and the girl's grandparents, I guess the guy's grandpa and the girl's grandma, they did not get together when they were younger, and they realized that the only way to notice their love or like show their love is to hook up their grandchildren. And that's the picture I have way over there to the side. It's the grandpa looking a little bit mischievous, and so that's why they hooked up the grandchildren. And the grandpa was like, "Oh, if you don't marry her, if you don't stay married to her, then I think he's rich and he won't give any of the money or the company. I think there's a company to the guy." So they're like, "Oh well, I guess we got to get married." Yeah, and then there's the blonde girl, the pink-haired girl, which is a sister to one of the other girls, and then we have the white-haired girl, which is how they are somehow related. I think they call each other cousins. I'm pretty sure. But yeah. So we have some pictures. Okay, so we have some memes. So what's going on? What are you doing with my little sister? Okay, that's the first time he met that girl. And she keeps hitting on him, asking to go out with him. And then he goes home, and it's like, that's my sister. What are you doing? We have a few others. So let's go right over here behind me. So the one closest to me, we have It's Because I Like Saito. The blonde hair girl has been pining over the main character, Saito, for a long, long time. She actually likes him. Like, genuinely likes him. Not like the other girl hates him. And it's like, what's so great about a guy like him? And it's everything. She likes everything about him. Then we have the other one over there is You Gotta Be Kidding Me. There's only one bed. Do as you please, no matter how much I cry and plead. Sex and stuff. What else would I be talking about? Yes, she's talking about sex and stuff. Now, I want to say first that she says she hates him. She hates parts about him, but she does like him because she ends up getting jealous by all these different girls. She gets very jealous. And then also we have him over there. And I just want to show how close he is with his, I'm pretty sure, like I said, cousin, the white-haired girl there. And she sits on his lap all the time, even in class sometimes. And that's basically the reason why I have that picture there, just to show how close they are. I needed a meme with all, like, each of the different girls in it, and that works. But yeah, so there's a little bit of jealousy in here. There are lots of girls trying to get with the one guy. The one guy, he's very smart. He's the top of the class. So, I mean, I understand why people like him. But yeah, that is I'm Getting Married to a Girl I Hate in Class. I really, really did like this one. I thought it was very good. But there are quite a few others this season that I thought I just liked better. Like, the vampire one, okay, that's one. Solo Leveling was really good. ReZero was really good. Dr. Stone was really good. There were just so many other ones that, like, this just kind of got barely pushed back. Then we have Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Season 5. Still very, very good, very, very solid, and we got to see a lot more like backstory for some of the goddesses and whatnot. Um, I really like Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, and this was a very, very solid one. And the plot behind this, okay, the plot in it. What's the goddess of love there? I forget her name now. I'm terrible with names. Freya. Okay, it's Freya. She spoilers first. Okay, spoilers first. I guess I should have said spoilers in the very beginning of the video. Um, but she ends up brainwashing the entire city that the dungeon is around, just so she could get Belle. She brainwashes everyone else in the entire city and takes Belle into her familia, the guild, and says that, "Oh, you have amnesia, Belle. You've never with Hestia. Come on, you were never with that little goddess." Um, and that was big. That was big. She brainwashed even more gods and goddesses. So like, it was great. It was great. Okay, it was pure cinema. And now that I'm sitting here talking about it, okay, I'm sitting here. I'm like, that probably should have been in the top 10. But there are quite a few others that do deserve it too. So I would recommend, since this is season 5, I mean, there's a lot to watch, I guess, if you need to get caught up on it. But Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Pretty solid. It's one of the ones that I started watching earlier in my anime watching time. I wouldn't say it's one of the first or anything like that, but it's good. It's good. I like it. Um, then we have Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. Very good. I did enjoy it. It's funny. I love the way he goes about fighting monsters, okay? Fighting the different monsters inside the series. It's very, very entertaining. Like the Colossi, the big old monsters, okay, of the game Shangri-La Frontier. Um, he's getting ready to find another one, and I think Shangri-La Frontier Season 2 is still going on right now. So it's not quite finished. It's been going on for a little bit now. But just the way that he goes about fighting things, trying to game the system and everything, I really do enjoy it. And I mean, it's very good too. It could very well have been on the top 10, but it just didn't make it. I left my A-ranked party to help my former students reach the dungeon depths. Exactly as the title says, that's basically what happens. But a little bit more to it, okay? Because the A-rank party, it never says in the title like why he left the A-rank party. And I'll tell you why. Because they were jerks. They were complete buffoons, okay? They were stupid. So, our main character there, he is basically a support. He's like, I think, an alchemist? He's a support role, okay? He buffs characters. He's the one that would go prepare food. He's the one that did all the shopping for potions and food and different magical items and whatnot. So he basically messed with the bank and stuff like that. And there's so much other stuff he did. Like for some reason, there's live streams inside the series. I don't know why live streams. Like, it's not like it's a real world and they're in a video game. The real world is the fantasy world, and there is a live stream that they can stream to the guild. I don't know how the live streaming works in this. There's just a little camera that floats around that, and I think it's a living thing too. But it floats around and it records and live streams stuff. And that's part of the world, I guess. But yeah, he also does all the live streaming and recording and posting of videos for them, kind of like on YouTube or whatnot. But yeah, he does all that stuff, and they treat him like complete crap, okay? They are like, oh, you use so much money, and you don't do anything. You don't even... It's like, well, he cooks for you. He does all the shopping for you. He supports you during battle, like doing support spells. It's like, what else do you want him to do? I mean, he even kind of fights monsters. But they're like, oh, you don't do enough. We're not going to pay you anything. Like, we're going to pay you a very, very meager amount. And he's like, no, I do the most work. It's like, why do I get paid less? And he ends up leaving. And I just want to say, I'm glad that they end up getting really, really bad off. Like the other party, okay? His A rank party, after he leaves, they cannot do anything. They cannot do regular dungeon runs. They cannot do, like, the easiest of quests because he did it all for him. He did it all. They can't even cook good food because he's the one that cooked. So, I mean, I'm glad that what happened to them. I'll say that, okay? I won't tell you what happens to them, but what happens to them is very deserved. But yeah, he joins in with his former students, the blue, white, and red-haired girls, and he goes into dungeons with them. He cooks for them. They actually help with doing other stuff. So I mean, it's not like the exact same party but with girls. They help out, and they appreciate him. Okay, they appreciate him. That's the good thing. Um, but yeah, then there's also the dungeons. There's a certain dungeon that is kind of weird because it transports them to what he suspects is a different world. And they kind of started to get into that. This season's still going on. So, I mean, there's more to it. It could get a lot better. But yeah, it's just them doing dungeon stuff and him kind of teaching the girls how to do stuff, them exploring some dungeons. You also get cutscenes where you get to see what his A rank party that he left is doing, and basically them being like, oh, we can't even do anything. You can't even do this right, kind of thing, just like fighting amongst themselves. So it's pretty good. I kind of enjoyed it. And I mean, really, character designs are pretty spot on, okay? Character designs were pretty good. That's really the reason why I watched this, because I thought the characters looked very, very good. So, still, a pretty solid show. Pretty solid. Um, this one, the elf girl's cat is secretly an S-ranked monster. What can I say? I watched some of it. It was exactly like I expected. This girl was kind of lusting after her cat. Not much to say about it. But there are other girls that also end up lusting after the cat. So, yeah, that's about all I'm going to say about that. There is a few other girls that end up coming around and stuff like that. One of them is actually a reincarnated dragon. And that's where I get the go on Tama, evolve for me now, breed me. Oh my gosh. And then I have this memes over here just to show how close she is with the cat, because he sits between her boobs. Okay, I'm just I watched it so you guys don't have to. But yeah, that's that's S-rank monster, elf girl's cat. Yep. Then we have Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf. Also, I want to mention these are in no particular order for the honorable mentions, not how I liked them or not. But Welcome to Japan, Mrs. Elf. This one I did not end up finishing. It was pretty good, but it wasn't like one that really jumped out at me. It was alright. Because he goes to sleep, he goes to a fantasy world, okay? And he's been doing this since he was young. So he's been kind of living at night in the fantasy world, and in the day he's been living in his world. And whenever he dies, he just wakes up. He doesn't die in the fantasy world. So, one day he's in the fantasy world, and he's with this elf girl, and they end up dying together while she's in his arms. And he wakes up in the real world, and the elf is with him. So, part of the series, from what I saw, was them going around adventuring in the fantasy world. And he brings like little like food boxes and stuff like that, and he feeds it to the elf girl because apparently the food is so much better in Japan than in the fantasy world. There's also a dragon that they end up going to see, which he ends up giving another one of the boxed lunches to the dragon, and apparently it's so great. So apparently that's a thing that keeps happening. Then in the real world, whenever he goes back there with the elf, he goes and shows her around. Like, he goes out on a dinner with some of his coworkers with her, and he goes to a bookstore with her. They do some stuff. So, I mean, It's kind of interesting. It just really wasn't on the top of my to-do list, okay? There were other shows that I needed to watch and get caught up on. This one just kind of fell back. So, it's alright. It's alright. Then we have fell in love with an Okinawan girl, but I just wish I know what she's saying. This one, I did like the character designs for this, okay? And it was kind of interesting because you learn about a lot about like Okinawa, like a lot of stuff about like the culture and what they do and what happens during storms there because there's an episode about when a hurricane goes through and that one was pretty good. I almost watched all of these episodes, okay? I think I was like 4 off. But it was pretty good. And yeah, he fell in love with an Okinawan girl, but he cannot understand what she's saying. So there's always other characters that are like translating for her at points because he can't understand. Um, this is basically just a brochure for Okinawa. That's basically all it is. It's basically a tourism brochure for Okinawa. And like all the stuff about it. There's even an episode where we teach about whistling, like a special way apparently. Um, then there's the hurricane one. There's one about going to the beach because apparently it said in Okinawa they don't swim in the beach. They just sit on the beach and like have like grill out and everything like that. Beach party. I'm trying to think of some other stuff they happen. Like they have a festival at one time. Um, yeah, just a brochure for Okinawa. That's basically what this is. So if you want to know kind of what's happening in Okinawa, I guess you can watch this and you can kind of get an idea, I guess. Guarantee it's not going to be everything, but it was kind of cute. I kind of enjoyed it. And I mean, at one point, I do want to go to Japan. So it was kind of interesting. That is all the ones I watched. So there's only 2 that I technically did not finish. This one, and then also Japan. Welcome to Japan at Miss Elf. All the others I did watch. Okay. But yeah, there was a lot. For this anime winter. Sorry, winter 2025. I thought I said spring. But yeah, that is what I would like the top 10 on there, and then also quite a few of the honorable mentions. I would highly recommend watching. To a point. And it was kind of hard to do the choices because a lot of them should have been in the top 10, but there were so many of them. But that is the top anime of winter 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching and everything like that. And I guess I'll see you for whenever we're done with the next season. So, bye-bye.